Hello, always a privilege to be in your space. My name is Osayi Mokaro. We're dealing with a very powerful topic today. It's a topic that, in my opinion, has deceived a lot of young people because they've been misplaced. But today I want to do my best to bring some level of balance to it. I'm not going to take side. I'm not for schooling, and I might get schooling. Because I believe, like PK will always say, it's erroneous for you to come on air and tell everybody don't give up. The same way it's going to be an error for me to validate don't go to school. Part of what I've come to experience is the fact that when people read about great guys, the Bill Gates and all of that, and you hear words like they are dropouts from schools, and yet they are still massively successful. People want to take that as a yardstick, as a reason for saying that you really don't need to go to school to be successful. I understand that, but we're going to take schooling and education from two very different perspectives. In my description of this conversation, before we came on air, I talked about the etymology of the word education. It's come from the word ēducō. So you want to read that description and you're going to see different meanings of the word education. The idea behind education is actually to pull out, to draw out that which is already inside. So like I'm sharing with you now, you're learning a few things here and there, but the things that connect with you the most, that you will really act on, are the things that are already inside of you. That's actually what education is supposedly meant to deal with. This is the topic. And I love this young man putting his hand on his jaw. I really don't value schooling. Like I have a flair for business. Is anything wrong with that? Truth is, nothing is particularly wrong with it. But I'm sure at the end of this conversation, it's going to be easier for you to be able to resonate as to what you will need to pursue. And how to bring a balance to this whole conversation going on in your head. So before I do that, I have some announcements I want to make, and I'm going to be as some of you already know about. Sorry, the information properly. Some of you already know about our books, so I'm not going to be taking too much time talking about these books. If you need to download these books, that are available at very reasonable prices, and they will turn your business around like they're already doing for people all over the world. The links to this book, they allow you to download this book from anywhere you are in the world. If funding your business is something that is very key to you at the moment, like I now or future, you need this book. You need to put your business in a professional manner so you can attract the funding that you need. Then if you say business is not me, it's not it for me, I be able to get a job that will pay me, that will educate me, that will empower me. We have you covered. We created this book just for you. But this book is not yet in the market. But if you follow that link, you can join the waiting list for that book. More information about the book will be coming your way very soon. That is that. Then we have something else in place for you. The Tony Lumelu Foundation program is currently up and running, and you basically have just 1 month to go. Basically 1 month to go. We decided to put this together because we found out that this year, starting from last year, 2020, although it couldn't hold, but going forward, there are about 4 steps to getting the funding. So we decided it's not going to be that easy for us to be able to work with people on a one-on-one basis to guide them through all of these processes. So we decided to do this as a group coaching support. follow this group, follow this. Even if you have already applied and have scaled through the first stage, it's not a guarantee that you get in the fund. So there are a lot of more work ahead of you to be done. The idea behind this group is to help you do this work as easily as possible, sharing thoughts and ideas. I had a conversation with somebody. I visited this person's farm, and I told him, begin to do this, begin to do this, begin to do this, because we're going to need all of these things to package your pitch presentation for the Tony Foundation. Those are insights from us that you can never get from a book. So those are insights. That's why you need to come into this group. Joining this group is absolutely free. It's absolutely free. We're going to be doing a more detailed session on Sunday. Sunday is very next Sunday. You're going to see it on the slide document there on the flyer. Join the session for Sunday. Afterward, you get to know more about what we are doing on the group and how it can help you get closer to getting the Tony Foundation Fund. The startup community, we are hosting one of our very own, Nathaniel Edoro. Nathaniel Edoro is also a TAF alumni. We both got TAF in the year 2017. And today, he majors in helping businesses to build traction, to be able to generate massive leads and convert such leads to paying customers. So he's going to be coming to guide us. Nathaniel is my marketing consultant personally. So he's going to be coming to guide us through a process of reaching 1 million customers. Follow this link as you can see on your screen and join this session. It's happening this coming Friday, and they basically have just 30 seats. Just 30 seats, and some are already going. So you want to be a part of that process. Just imagine if your business can reach 1 million customers. If your business can reach 1 million customers, if you have 1 million customers and you're able to convert at a 10% conversion rate, you have 100,000 people buying your product and your service. That will help you achieve your goal for the whole of 2021. Sometimes we make a very big blunder to think that we can get to where we're going business-wise without marketing, without advertising. Advertising is the biggest limitation for businesses today. So if you can get someone professionally, someone who is professional, someone who is proficient in doing this, I think you just want to take it. Okay, right now we go straight to our topic of the day. I really don't have value for schooling. I really don't value schooling like I have a flair for business. Is anything wrong with that? My brother, my sister, if you're asking the same question, I need to tell you there is nothing wrong with this notion. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it. You can still be 100% successful without schooling. You cannot succeed without education. You can be 100% successful without schooling. 4 words, but you can never be successful in life without education. So at the end of this conversation, you're going to find out what we're talking about. So my first big question to you is, I want to x-ray your mind. I want to get a deeper understanding. Why do you love business? Why do you love business? It's also an error to think that life is all about money. So you want to check your motive. You want to be clear on your motive, that you're not aggravating, you are not agitating, you're not tilting towards business just for the sake of money. As important as money, you only get to know how valueless it is when you already have it. There's brand say, people say money will not make you happy, just that everybody want to find out for themselves. They just want to have it first to find out that it's not going to make them happy or not. So I value money. I have a very high value for money. But you just want to check your motive. why do you love business? You know, people love business sometimes because they want to accelerate their level of impact. So don't think that everybody doing business actually love it because of the money. So you just want to deal with that motive first. Then another question you want to answer: what's your issue with schooling? Because sometimes one of the things I come to find out in my work with clients and all of that is that sometimes a lot of us don't just ask the question of life, why? That's the question of life, that question, why? In fact, it was PK that was sharing one time, and he said, a lot of you are not asking that question. Even if a guy tells you as a lady, I love you, your next response should be, why? Because a lot of us do things without really sitting down to ask ourselves, why? What's your issue with schooling? Why do you love business? What's your issue with schooling? Is there a problem with schooling? Find out that, because the issue you have with schooling is deeply personal. It's not societal. Yes, it could be societal. That's why I went further to ask this third question. If schooling could be packaged differently, would you want to school and do business also? Because truly, schooling doesn't stop you from doing business. It may hinder you from giving it all that you need to give it at that point in time, but it doesn't stop you from doing business. In reality, if you take schooling, if you're able to get education from schooling, it's going to help you do business better. So if you have no value for schooling, there must be an underlying reason. I've grown old enough to understand that I don't deal with issues just from the phases, just from the periphery. I want to deal with issues by trying to find out the underlying factor, because things are not really what it looks like. Things are not really just what it seems to be. Another thing, in your opinion, I want you to answer this to yourself. What's the ultimate goal of schooling? Because I've had people use this very flimsy excuse. Why do we go to school? Is it not to come out from school, get a job, and still earn money? So if you can earn the money without schooling, what's the essence? If you fall into that category, you are going to belittle schooling and education in its entirety, thinking that I can succeed without it. Yes, you can. You can, but the paths on that for you. Not without schooling per se, but without education. Because a lot of people go through school who still are not educated. And there are people who never went through the 4 walls of schooling, but they are massively educated. So my feedback to you that even if you do not school, play ready for education. Without it, you can never succeed. Even if you do not school, please be ready for education, because without it, you can never succeed. That's a reality you must know. You need education. You need education to be a success. So schooling it not necessarily make you a success, but you need education to be successful. So I'm going to look at other forms of education outside of schooling. Like I define schooling. Schooling is simply 4 walls. But in the absence of 4 walls, how else can I get education? You can get education from school. In fact, the brains behind the school program, the school engagement was actually education. But you and I also know that in some part of the world, schooling is really not educating anybody. Schooling in some part of the world actually limits some people. I could have joined the people who say don't go to school if you want to succeed. But the only reason I can't join that crop is because everybody who says so actually has gone through school. Like you say, don't go to school if you want to succeed. But the only issue is that you only get to find that after you have gone through school. Just like Les Brown said, people tell you that money will not make you happy, but you just want to find out for yourself. Let me just have it first and find out if it's going to make me happy or not. It's the same way. I'm not going to tell you not to go to school, but you also have to be careful not to allow school to become your limitation. Because I've seen people very passionate about something, but this thing they are very passionate about and can do with ease by reason of the giftings that God has placed on the inside of them, they are not doing because their certificate says something else. So school has become a limitation for such people. So let's look at some other form of education. The most effective form of education is self-education. I appreciate the place of the foundational schooling, the nursery, the primary, and all of that, but at some point in time, as a grown-up, the best form of education is self-education. If I send you my profile today, or if you access my profile through trescal.com/profile, you are hardly going to see the courses I studied in school. You will only see things like he has a background in banking and finance and mass communication. Other certifications that will be named there are things I decided to go for because it relates to what I'm doing now and what I will do in my life. Self-education. And I didn't acquire those certifications within the 4 walls. Of course, some took place in classes and all of that, but they were things I paid for. I took myself there. I did it at my pace. And, self-education. You must educate yourself. Then another form of education is apprenticeship. Whether we like it or not, the Igbo communities in Africa, in Nigeria, the Chinese people, this is their most powerful form of education. That's why it looks like these Igbos are thriving as it relates to business. They built an informal system of education that passes the knowledge of business from one generation to the very next. And continually, they've amassed wealth and successes of themselves. So apprenticeship is a powerful process. Today for us in Nigeria, we say, oh, government is bragging. We just attracted a Chinese company. The Chinese companies are coming to do this. Go back and do your research. These Chinese companies come here, invest massively, and come with their own people. Some of them getting to learn through the ranks, but get paid the highest. This is not a conversation for that. But I just want to tell you, apprenticeship is key. Then another form of education is personal research. Most of the things I know today and I'll keep knowing are based on my personal research. Then another one is coaching and mentorship from somebody who is already succeeding at something, what you can never learn in school. Before I go further, let me take us back to self-education. I have had cause to read a book that sometimes is more valuable than 4 years in school. That's what personal education or self-education can do for you. It's sitting down under a coach and a mentor. We hold your hands through a process. We hold your hands through a process and break down all of the steps you need to take to doing what you have to do into practicable steps for you. You have the opportunity of engaging with these persons one-on-one, asking them questions that are personal, just like you people have the opportunity of asking me this question. You need someone in your life that you can call, you can sit down with, you can have a meeting with, online, physical, that you can share your thoughts and share your challenges. Someone who can provide such solutions. Someone who can ask you coaching questions that will help you answer deeper questions. I just had a coaching session with 2 of my tribe members just this evening. I didn't do much for them. All I need to do was to just ask them questions that's going to help them put their life on a path. That's going to help them put their life on a path, because we have an agenda for ourselves in our tribe that every tribe member must earn a minimum of ₦1 million in 1 month. In the conversation I just had with them just now, they both can see how easy it is to earn ₦1 million. As you're hearing this, it looks like a song in your ear. It looks so far-fetched for some of us. I know it's something easy for a lot of others. But you need a coach and a mentor to help you see how easy these things are. For me, coaching and mentorship is a more valid and credible educational system than even the schooling that we have. Look at the disciples of Jesus. When they began to manifest and exhibit some level of character competence, people named them Christians. He said, because they have been with Jesus. Because Jesus' form of education, which is coaching, so education is key, fundamental to your success. Schooling may not be, except you go to school and you are able to get education from the school. The last and final form of education I'm going to talk about is observation and curiosity. Observation and curiosity. Before our children begin to get enrolled into school, this is the easiest way they learn. This is the God-ordained way of learning, even before the school system. That's why Christians or children rather, are always asking questions. They are curious. They observe a lot. They may not be able to say all of the things they are observing, but they are very, very observant. So it's educational for you to be observant, for you to be curious, for you to ask very probing questions. That's why we created this platform and we dedicated the whole of February to take your life and business questions so we can give you answers to them. I'm sure with this that we're doing, a lot is changing on the inside of every one of us. I'm going to leave you with this final word. If you can afford it, please go to school. But if you can't, do well to educate yourself through other alternatives. You can still have a master's brain without a master's degree. It's possible to have a master's brain without a master's degree. So go ahead and make the best of yourself. It is very possible, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come into your space this evening. Before I let you go, I just want to ask that you go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not yet done that. If you are on Facebook, you just want to follow one of the links on the description there, bit.ly/Trescaro. It's going to take you to our YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, because in the month of March, our conversations may not be coming to Facebook. It's going to be concentrated on YouTube. So go ahead and be a part of all of the successes that we are sharing and all of the content that we are sharing and turning lives around. So let's do this again tomorrow. We have myriads of questions pouring in. We're going to be taking more tomorrow and the day after. We're doing this all until February 28th. So let's do this again tomorrow. Have a lovely night rest.